Never thought I would have to deal with something like this, but here I am. My sister-in-law, who I'll call Tina, has a crush on my husband and has been making our lives miserable for a long time. I'm going to tell you how it all started, how it escalated, and how I finally put an end to it. My husband and I met at a ski lodge 9 years ago. We were both there with our friends and kids, and we ended up singing a duet at a karaoke contest. We hit it off right away and exchanged numbers. That's when I noticed Tina's weird behavior for the first time. She was his adopted sister, and she acted like she owned him. She stormed over to us at the cafe and demanded that he go back to their group. She ignored me completely and whined like a spoiled child. He told her to leave us alone, and she ran away crying. She also stole her sister's room keys and locked them out, so they had to stay with their friends. I thought she was just jealous and immature, but it turned out to be much worse. A few years later, we bought a house together and had a housewarming party. We invited our family and friends, and Tina showed up in a skimpy outfit. She clung to my husband all night, reminiscing about their childhood and how close they were. She kissed him on the cheek, hugged him, and touched his arm constantly. He looked very uncomfortable, and I had to intervene. She acted like she was his girlfriend, not his sister. She also told everyone that he used to say he never wanted kids, but now he was playing daddy to my daughter. She made comments about his modeling photos from college, and how he had never dated a woman of color before me. She was biracial herself, so I don't know why that bothered her. Maybe she was jealous of me, or maybe she wanted to be me. The worst part was when he proposed to me at the end of the night. He got down on one knee and asked me to marry him, and I said yes. Everyone cheered, except for Tina. She burst into tears and ran to the bathroom. Their dad followed her and took her home. I knew she was upset because she had feelings for him, but my husband thought she was just jealous of our happiness. He always brushed off her behavior as harmless, but I knew it was not. After that, she avoided us for years. She skipped our wedding, our baby shower, our kids' birthday parties, and any other family events. I was fine with that, because I didn't want her around. She had some mental issues and was in and out of treatment. I felt sorry for her, but I also wanted her to stay away from us. I didn't want her to ruin our peace. I'm pregnant again, and our baby shower is at the end of this month. I'm having it early, because I'm at risk of going into labor early, like I did with my other 2 kids. My mother-in-law called to RSVP and said that Tina would be coming with them, and if she could bring her new boyfriend. I was surprised, because we hadn't seen her in years. I was hesitant, but I agreed, hoping that she had gotten better and moved on. I was wrong. The next day, she texted my husband at 3 a.m., telling him how she felt about our family. She said she missed him, and that I had destroyed their close relationship. She asked him if he was happy with his life, and if he ever thought about her. She asked him to meet her before the shower and talk to her alone. That was the last straw for me. I asked him if he knew she was in love with him, and he said he didn't doubt it. He said that when she was 11, she asked him to cuddle and kiss, and he said no. He said her behavior had always been weird and dramatic, but he didn't pay attention to her, because he had many siblings and they all hung out together. I asked him to uninvite her and her boyfriend, because I knew she was going to cause trouble at our baby shower. He said he wanted to talk to his parents first, to see how she was doing, but I knew she was ready to make a scene. I didn't want her to ruin our special day. Was I a jerk for wanting to uninvite her? Edit, for those who are wondering, nothing ever happened between them. I'm 100% sure of that. He has 3 adopted siblings, 2 girls and 1 boy. He sees them as his real siblings, because they were adopted at birth. He's the second youngest, and they're all close in age. He said he ignored her, because she was always dramatic. He was worried about her, because she had depression for a long time. He tried to be gentle with her, but he was not opposed to uninviting her. He just wanted to know what his parents thought about her mental state and if she could behave. Second edit, I keep seeing comments about High School Musical. I'm too old to have watched that show/movie, but I didn't know about that plot. I changed some details of how we met, so this post wouldn't be recognizable, but this is unfortunately my life right now. My husband is on his way home, even though he had 3 more hours of work, because his phone kept blowing up. He sounded upset, but he wouldn't tell me what was wrong. I don't want to call his mom and sister to ask what's going on, but I'll try to post an update when we hopefully come to a final solution, because I'm stressed and over this. Update, this will probably be my last update, because my husband and I decided that we need to be completely removed from Tina's drama and trauma, so we can focus on having a healthy pregnancy and family life. I have an appointment with a high-risk prenatal doctor tomorrow morning, that was scheduled weeks ago, to check on the baby. Thank you to those who were concerned about me and the baby. I don't even know where to start, so I apologize if this update seems all over the place. I also have to point out for the person who went through my comment history, I switched the numbers, genders, and event details, so I wouldn't be easily identified in real life. I have a professional license, so if someone recognized me and thought I was being unethical, due to the nature of the post, I could be brought in for a review, which I would like to avoid. So I'm sorry I can't be 100% truthful with all of the details. I tried my best to keep the most important information as factual as possible. My husband came home, because Tina blew up his phone, texting and calling. He always texts or calls me on his lunch break, to check on me, even before the pregnancy, so I knew something was wrong when he didn't. He left Tina on read, but she started calling and sending a bunch of nasty and insulting texts about me and our kids. So basically, Tina being Tina. He didn't tell me, but he sent her a long message, which he showed me when he got home. He basically told her off, and told her that he would rather never speak to her again, than listen to her talk bad about our family. He told her she was never welcome to any of our family events, and that she needed to go back to the hospital, if she thought they had anything more than a sibling relationship. He ended it by saying he would let the family know why she was uninvited, and that he hoped she was seeing a therapist, or would find one soon. I was not surprised by his response, because the things she said pushed him over the edge. I think the worst thing she said was that my 2 miscarriages, years ago, which would have been our first child together, were caused because we didn't belong together, and that my body couldn't even carry any of my children to term. I had 2 premature deliveries, at 32 and 33 weeks. I expected her to bring something like this up, but I could tell it hurt him, and that's why he didn't hold back. He then blocked her, and told me he was changing our phone numbers. He called his parents and his oldest sister, who he is close with, and explained to them why she was never allowed to visit our home. He shared all of their text exchanges, and they were shocked. He asked them not to share our address, and when we changed our numbers, they assured us that they didn't share this information with her. She actually asked for his work schedule, and mentioned driving up a day early, to surprise him. My father-in-law had the most to say, and I get it, it's his baby girl, but he hadn't shared much info beforehand, with anyone besides his wife. He said he always knew she had a crush on him, but after her outburst at our housewarming, years ago, they had a conversation about her behavior, and she told him that she had been keeping a diary about him, since she was a teenager. She said it was to process her emotions, and to challenge negative thoughts. All I heard was that she wrote about him for years, so there are several journals in their home, probably reinforcing her beliefs. She only stayed possible continuation. The day of the baby shower arrived, and I was feeling nervous and excited. I had spent the whole week preparing everything, with the help of my friends and family. I had a beautiful cake, balloons, decorations, games, and gifts. I was looking forward to celebrating our baby with our loved ones. My husband was by my side, holding my hand and reassuring me. He had talked to his parents, and they had agreed to uninvite Tina and her boyfriend. They said they were sorry for the trouble she had caused, and that they hoped she would get better soon. They also said they would come to the shower, along with his other siblings, except for Tina. They said they loved us, and they were happy for us. I was relieved, but I also felt a pang of guilt. I knew Tina was sick, and she needed help. I didn't hate her, I just wanted her to leave us alone. I wondered if she was okay, and if she had accepted the fact that my husband was not interested in her. I hoped she would find someone who would love her for who she was, and not who she wanted to be. The shower started, and everyone was having a great time. We played games, ate cake, opened gifts, and laughed a lot. I felt so blessed and grateful for all the people who cared about us and our baby. My husband was the best, he made me feel special and loved. He kissed my belly, and whispered sweet things to me. He also thanked everyone for coming, and for their support. Everything was perfect, until I heard a loud knock on the door. I looked at my husband, and he looked confused. He said he would go check who it was, and he left the room. I waited, hoping it was not who I thought it was. But my hopes were dashed, when I heard a familiar voice screaming. It was Tina. She had somehow found out where we lived, and she had driven all the way here. She had also brought her boyfriend, who looked scared and confused. She was yelling at my husband, calling him names, and accusing him of betraying her. She said she loved him, and that he belonged to her. She said she was pregnant with his baby, and that he had to leave me and marry her. I was shocked and disgusted. I couldn't believe she had the nerve to show up here, and lie like that. I knew she was not pregnant, and she had never slept with my husband. She was delusional, and desperate. She was trying to ruin our happiness, and our baby shower. I got up, and walked to the door. I saw her, and she saw me. She glared at me, and spat out some hateful words. She said I was a whore, and that I had stolen her brother from her. She said I was a bad mother, and that I didn't deserve to have his children. She said she was the only one who could make him happy, and that he would always love her more than me. I was furious, and I had enough. I slapped her hard across the face, and told her to get out.